To ride a motorcycle safely, you're going to need the right gear. But where does a beginner even start shopping? There's so many options out there when it comes to riding gear, and it can get pretty overwhelming. So in this video, Tommy and I are going to go shopping for his first set of riding gear. We'll give you some tips along the way that you can use for your own shopping, and show you how everything pieces together once it gets delivered.
All right guys, check it out. Today we've got a cool video for you because we're gonna show you how to spec out a cool set of gear on a budget. I just got my first motorcycle. I wanna go hit the roads, hit the trails, but I need to stay safe. And when I, as a beginner, check out some of this gear, it's just mind-boggling. You can spend thousands of dollars. So Alex over there, he's been riding for years. He's a real expert in motorcycle gear. He's probably spent way too much money on it.
Definitely way too much money. We won't talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. But I have a small budget, say like 500 bucks. And we're gonna see, can you get a full set of decent motorcycle gear for less than $500? So what we've got right here is our partner for this series. This is RevZilla, and RevZilla has just a shocking amount of gear, and we're gonna kind of talk about the different brands. We're gonna talk about the different types of helmets and jackets and pants, and talk about what I need to buy to keep me safe. So let's start with, what do you think, helmet?
Yeah, helmet's definitely a super important part. It's not required here in Colorado, but I think you'd be a fool to get on your monkey without a helmet. And there's a bunch of different kinds of helmets. So, you can go with kind of a classic old school style, something that would match the monkey a lot. There's modular helmets, there's open face helmets, full face helmets. And for pretty much any beginner rider, I would definitely recommend a full face helmet. That way your chin's protected. If you go down, your face isn't gonna touch the asphalt and totally rip your skin off.
Yeah, and as a beginner rider, that's definitely my priority because there's a good chance I'm gonna drop the thing. So the open face and the half helmets are off the table, but when I look at the more full face designs, I see 5 different types. You've got modular, you've got dual sport. What are kind of the differences between the types?
Yeah, so a regular full face helmet, that's what I ride in most days. That's gonna be for kind of your standard upright motorcycle, even cruisers, sport bikes. Very aerodynamic. They're pretty much all gonna have a visor on the front of it so you can let some airflow in, close it down, and make sure that you stay dry. Then you get into a modular helmet, which is going to allow you to actually flip the front portion of the helmet up. So you'll be able to take a sip of water if you need to on the side of the road, wipe some sweat off your face, and just get some more airflow in there without having to fully take off your helmet. Then there's dirt bike helmets, which are full face helmets. They still have the chin bar, but no visor, and they're gonna have a peak on the top. Big open cut through in the middle. That's gonna be for throwing on a pair of dirt bike goggles. You're not really going too crazy in the dirt yet.
Yeah.
So I think a dual sport helmet would probably be the best way to go. I know the Monkey isn't really a dual sport, but we do have the Hawk DLX. You do have the Monkey, so a dual sport helmet can be a great all-around helmet if you're just gonna have one.
Yeah, and ideally I really want to get more involved in that world, and I don't want to have to keep buying helmets, so I think that's a good way to go. Now, what about safety-wise? Is there a difference between a standard full face or dual sport versus like a modular?
Yeah, so this is kind of a topic that people go back and forth on. Some people will say a modular helmet is not quite as safe as a full face because it can pop open. But really, the main things you want to look for when you're buying a helmet are the levels of certification. So here in the US, we have DOT and SNELL. Pretty much any helmet you're gonna go out and buy is gonna be DOT rated. That means you're able to take it and ride out on the street with it. The SNELL rating comes from motorcycle racing, so it's a little more intense, harder for the manufacturers to pass that standard. So I don't think you really need to go into a SNELL certification quite yet. If you're doing track days, I would say that would be something to look into. There's also ECE, but that's more of a European thing. So pretty much any DOT helmet should do.
Cool, so when I click on the dual sport helmets here, wow, we've got a ton of different options, but one of the cool things that I noticed I can do is I can actually sort by price. So let's see kind of what the different prices and brands are. So if I start sorting by price from high to low, I mean, you can spend almost 800 bucks on a dual sport helmet.
Yeah, they get really expensive. I mean, the Arai stuff is really good. I have an Arai helmet myself, but yeah, you're gonna pay for it.
All right, so let's go the other way. Let's look from low to high because that's kind of gonna be more in the price range. Okay, so this is interesting. So they start at about 100 bucks depending on the brand, and then going from there. So there's G-Max, Sedici. I think this Sedici one's gonna work. I think this is pretty cool. Now I'd love to do like the yellow. I think that's going to be a good call. So there's a little bit of kind of visibility.
Yeah.
So let's do that. So that's $119. So we're $120 into the $500 budget. All right, good, sweet. Let's move on to the next accessory. Let's talk about, what's not an accessory? Let's talk about the next necessity, I should say, jackets. So what are the different kind of jackets and how do they vary?
There's a ton of different kinds of jackets, and you'll probably want to grow a collection as you get more into it, because as you ride through the seasons, you're going to need different thicknesses of jackets to keep you warm and keep you cool in the summer. So, you can go with mesh. That's going to keep you really nice and cool. Leather is going to be the most abrasion resistant. So if you're going really fast and you go down, you're definitely going to want to be in leather. But a good overall option is a textile jacket because it keeps you cool. It'll also keep you warm into the fall. It's not really so much a winter jacket, but a good textile jacket is definitely where I would recommend starting.
So just looking on the website here, there are 1,300 different types of jackets. And if we look at pricing, this is pretty crazy. This, was it Klim or is it Climb?
I believe it's Climb.
Yeah, Adventure Rally jacket ranges from $1,700 to $1,800.
Yeah, they get crazy, and a lot of these will accept airbags and have all kinds of other features that you don't necessarily need as a beginner. So let's try and sort the other way again. Let's go low to high.
Yeah, so low to high. So initially, of course, we get a lot of like the basically visibility vests because they kind of all jumble them into one category here. But this looks kind of interesting. So this is made by a company called Built, and I think this is a textile jacket. This one's $109, and you can see there's all sorts of different sizes here. So can you get jackets with like built-in protection? Are there ones with pads in them already?
Yes, so there's two different levels of certification. You're gonna see CE level 1 and CE level 2 levels of certification in terms of armor in your jacket. This one is CE level 1 rated, which is plenty fine enough for riding a monkey around town. It does have protectors in the elbow and shoulders, which is great. It does have a pocket for a back protector. I definitely recommend a back protector, but it's not included.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's $110. And like I said, just getting into riding, zipping my little monkey in through our little city here, that should be fine, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. So we are up around, what's that, $230. So let's move on to the pants. And this is a little bit overwhelming because this is another one where there's just so many different types and styles. Talk to me about the different materials and the different protection levels.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty much the exact same thing as the jacket. You're going to have leather, you're going to have mesh, textile, and really you're just going to have to decide what kind of riding you're going to be doing. A really good option, though, I think for beginners is a pair of riding jeans because they look normal. You can, take your bike out to a restaurant and walk in, not have to worry about changing. You probably have noticed all the time in the summer I come into my riding pants and the first thing I do is go into the bathroom and change into some regular jeans because real riding pants can be pretty uncomfortable, just walking around the office. But riding jeans look good, they'll keep you safe, and I've seen way too many people jump on their first motorcycle and all they do is throw on gloves, a jacket, and a helmet. Pants are really important because if you go down, most likely you're going to end up sliding on your butt. If you're going, 40 miles an hour, you're going to take quite a bit of a slide on your butt, and you're going to want some thicker material and some Kevlar lined jeans to keep the skin on your legs versus just some regular jeans that are going to rip through in half a second.
All right, so I've noticed here, most expensive riding pants, once again, $1,200. Now, are riding jeans different than like jeans that you would get at like Old Navy? What are the differences?
Yeah, so the actual denim will be a little bit thicker than your standard pair of jeans, and they'll also have Kevlar lining in them usually.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So here we go. Scorpion Exo Covert jeans. So the sizing on them is pretty similar to like what you'd find on just a normal walking around pair of jeans, which is interesting. And they look like pretty standard jeans, so I'm excited to see when they get here what they'll be like. But these come in at about $120. Which really isn't all that bad. All right, so we got the pants, we got the jacket, we got the helmet. Let's talk about the boots because another one where there are just so many different styles. Riding the monkey around town, what would you recommend?
There's basically two different kinds of boots. You're gonna have your full tall race boots that come pretty much up to your knees, and then you're gonna have a shorter boot. And just like with the jacket and pants, you're gonna have leather boots and then things that are more like sneakers or work boots that look a little more casual. You can wear them out into a restaurant out in public and not look like you're wearing full motorcycle gear. So yeah, you just have to balance kind of the different levels of style and protection.
So I can see like right off the bat we've got the dirt boots, which look more like the motorcycle or the motocross style, and those come up way high into the thigh. That's probably going to be the wrong deal for what I'm looking for. The highest price, you can spend up to $800 for a really high quality set. And the lowest price is a little bit confusing to me because when we start looking at like the boots, some of these genuinely look like shoes that you'd walk around town in.
I'm going to be honest, there's not much of a difference between that and your typical sneaker. It might have a little bit more structure in it and be a little bit more solid, but you definitely want that bone protection, something that comes up a little higher. And it's not just like a high top sneaker. You're actually going to have some protection in there. Usually the soles are made out of some sort of oil resistant material so that, if you step into a slick spot on the road, you're not going to lose your grip.
So looking at boots here, I found these Sedici Dino boots. These are pretty similar to what you ride in, right?
Yeah, these are very similar to what I ride in. They've got, a hard plastic part around the back of your foot and your ankle. You have toe sliders up front, which are replaceable too. So if you wear it through those, you can not need to buy a new pair of boots. You just fix these ones.
And one thing I noticed about this Revzilla site is at the bottom, you also have like ratings. So people talk about bang for buck, features, style, comfort. And then there's also a chat with a geek option, which I have tried before and it's really cool. And someone gets back to you right away to answer your questions, which is pretty neat. All right, so let's talk about gloves, another area where there's just many different options. So what should I be looking for? What's a good way to go?
As far as street gloves go, you have two different styles, short cuff and then more of a gauntlet, which comes further down on the arm. You also have like really thin dirt bike gloves, which are great for going off-road and playing around on the motocross track. But if you go down on the asphalt, they're not going to keep you safe at all. So I would say go with the short cuff glove. You're going to be riding a lot in the summer. Gauntlets are great if you're doing a lot of work on the track or riding really fast in the canyons, stuff like that. But short cuff gloves, great for around town. You want to make sure you have something with a hard knuckle on it, so you have some protection there. Scaphoid slider is also really good to have if you can find one with it. Little slider in this area.
Gotcha. So looking at prices, they're pretty reasonable actually. I found the set of built sprint gloves. These come in at $29.99. They have, looks like a little bit of protection on the knuckle here at least. So that's a good start, and they are not the gauntlet style. They are more of that short cuff. They come in a bunch of different colors. These are $29.99 or $30. So I'll add these to the cart, and I think if I add it all up, we just spent like $450 on everything.
Everything you need to get out on the road. We're not skimping out on anything. You're not missing anything.
And this is worth noting, right? This is just like a beginner setup. I mean, you can go way more safe than this. I know you ride with like, an airbag? But those get into like the thousands of bucks.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, you could also probably go a little bit more affordable than this because we didn't necessarily just pick the cheapest. We picked the stuff that's going to be best for my riding style. So let's go ahead and click order on this and see what comes back. All right, it's been a few days, which is interesting because we're wearing the same clothes and the lighting is the same. But here is our Revzilla package with all my new gear. So let's go ahead and do some unboxing. So that's probably what, the helmet? Alex?
Yep. You got a nice bag with it too.
Moment of truth. Ooh, look at that.
That is one bright helmet right there.
That is, I want it to be visible. That's definitely
cool.
visible.
So yeah, you can see it's got this flip up clear visor, but also a little sunglass visor built into it. See how that works. There you go.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, you don't even need sunglasses.
That is the coolest thing I've seen in a while.
Yep.
Super cool. And then is the top part removable here?
Yeah, so the peak's removable. It's just with these two screws. So, these are good for if you are going off-road. Keeps the rocks and dirt off of your face, but they do catch the wind quite a bit. The monkey's not too fast. You probably won't have an issue, but, if it catches the wind, you can take it off.
Alex is lying. It's the fastest thing I've ever ridden because it's the only thing I've ever ridden. But let's talk about the boots. Those are next. So what are some of the selling features on these boots? So I do see right off the bat that they are definitely more ankle above the ankle than below the ankle.
You can see they've got this nice hard boot in the back, so really hard to compress. They say that this surface on the bottom should not really absorb oil too much. And then you've got your removable toe slider right there with two screws, pops off nice and easy. And no laces, which is nice, so just all Velcro and one zipper to get in and out of the boot.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, so next up, we've got the Built Sprint gloves. So that is that kind of knuckle protection you're talking about.
Yep, knuckle protection. These are full leather gloves, so even though they have kind of these extra parts here, which should make it so you don't wear through the gloves quite as fast when you're holding onto the grips, but underneath that, still full leather. And yeah, not bad for $30.
So one thing I can do down the road is probably get some with the, what is it called?
Scaphoid slider.
Scaphoid slider,
Yeah,
okay.
typically if you fall off the bike, you have a tendency to, or fall off anything for that matter, skis, whatever. You have the tendency to want to catch yourself with your palms, and that's how you're going to break that bone. So having a nice piece of plastic there that'll slide over the road is real nice.
All right, sweet. So here we've got the jacket, and this is interesting. So is this like a little cubby you were saying for a bag protector?
Yeah, so this is going to be definitely more of a summer jacket, which is fine because
You'll be riding.
you'll be riding mostly in the summer, and we do get some nice warm days here, even in the winter. But if you feel the elbows, there's actually built-in protectors in there.
Oh, sweet.
Got the same thing up in the shoulders too. And then if you want to add a back protector, you just throw it in right here.
Nice, cool. And then looks like we've got some kind of little cubby down here at the bottom. What's that for?
So if you had the matching pants to this jacket, you could zip them together, kind of make a one piece.
I gotcha.
Yep.
So you can also get the kind of make a set out of them.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. And I didn't know that they had the pads in them, which is a real big deal. Now this is what I'm really curious about because I've never seen a set of these in real life. But these are going to be the riding pants, more specifically the riding jeans. And let's see what the, ooh. Yeah, you're right. That's a really thick kind of denim. That's really cool. So talk me through these guys.
Yeah, so the best way to actually see what these are doing is to flip them inside out. But before we do, you can see they look like regular jeans. The pockets look just like regular jeans. Same thing on the back side. So yeah, really kind of discreet. Doesn't look like you're wearing full riding gear, but let's flip them inside out.
Oh, wild.
So like you were saying, you felt the thicker denim right off the bat, but this yellow stuff is the Kevlar lining. And as you can see, it covers the knees, the whole top portion of your legs, and full butt protection as well. So these are a really nice set of riding jeans.
Dude, that's so cool. I would never have thought that's how they worked. Okay, so I'm gonna go slap all this stuff on. Definitely don't want to film that because no one wants to see that. And then we'll see what it looks like when it's all said and done. All right, Alex, I'll tell you what, this came out really, really cool. You know, for 450 bucks, it's not a bad starting set of gear, but Alex has some more tips. So what was your tip with the helmet?
Yeah, so one thing you want to do when you get your helmet is to make sure you wear it around your house for like 30 minutes before you actually go out on a ride. Once you ride in it, it's going to be yours. You can't return it. And there's all different head shapes and head shapes for helmets. So you want to make sure you wear it for like 30 minutes. Make sure you don't get any weird pressure points at the front or back of your head. And also just something I like to do to make sure the helmet fits right is put it on, strap it up, and then make sure you can't slip 2 fingers in the back of the helmet up into your head. If you can get one, that's fine. But if you can get 2 fingers up there, the helmet's probably too big.
Interesting. Well, a great tip, and super stoked to be ready to ride the little monkey. Now we just need it to not to be February so I get this thing out on our little city streets here. Well, as always, let us know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. A big thank you to Revzilla for making this happen. And this has been Tommy and
Alex, we'll see you in the next one.